Good afternoon, David Schonecker, licensed professional engineer with the Avanti Group. Here to talk to you briefly about best practices as it relates to metal building homes, right? So obviously I spend as much time as everybody on social media, in the Facebook groups and stuff, seeing and receiving questions and problems from owners. You know, why did this guy do it this way? Why is a window flashing this way? How do you flash a window in a metal building, a vinyl window in a metal building? All these things, right? I just want to encourage you more than anything to understand that, your designer, number one, is your first line of defense. You should have a good, competent set of plans to go by. Those plans should articulate pretty much every aspect of the window installation, door installation, and flashing and weatherproofing, except what is already included in the window manufacturer's instructions. So we use three things, really, literally and figuratively, when we're installing windows and doors in metal buildings. Number one, we use Avanti Group and their plans and details as it relates to the wood bucking, the attachment to the metal building, and how to properly frame the openings size-wise, right? Then we're using the Florida product approvals, right? We're using the data provided by the contractor on site, ready for inspection, the Florida product approvals, which shows specifically how to attach what type of screw, what embedment, what spacing into the bucks or steel if you're using steel. Then we're using window installation instructions and door instructions, right? So the product approval and the Avanti plans or your engineer's plans are not enough. There still is, in case of a warranty issue especially, a set of installation instructions by Pella, by Gelwin, by whomever, Thermal True, and they all have very specific notes and details as it relates to the installation of their doors and windows. Now, do they always perfectly align with the metal building construction? No, of course not. That's why you have to hire a good engineer or architect or someone like myself to help interpret that situation, to make sure we develop site-specific details for your windows and doors in your metal building home, right? Now, that's the design part, the engineering part, the contractor providing document part. The other, obviously most important part too, is execution, right? I can't say this enough. Too many times we see owners complain or write statements way after the fact, like when the job's done or when all the work's been done and it's days later and they're just complaining on the internet about, hey, look at this guy, what he installed, what do you think? That is not the time to do that, right? Do the best you can, please, to be educated on your plans, your details, your site-specific construction. That way, when the work gets done, you're gonna visually observe it and make sure someone like me, your engineer, gets to look at it as well, sign off on it, along with your county officials. I just can't say it enough. Execution. You spend all this money on plans, you spend all this money on windows and doors and a building, and for a contractor or a subcontractor on it to install things improperly is absolutely a no-no. You definitely do not deserve that. No one deserves to have, instructions ignored. Every little detail matters as it relates to how to install the bucking, the sill flashing, the weatherproofing, the caulking, the window, and then ultimately the fasteners and the weatherproofing on the outside. Every detail matters. I highly encourage that if you didn't already, understand what your plans show. Make sure you got good inspection procedures for overcoming who's doing the work or overseeing who's doing the work. Make sure it gets done well. If you have any questions, stop. Never proceed without direction. That is a significant statement that most subcontractors and contractors and owners, to a point, fail to heed, is that they allow the contractor to proceed. They look at something, they see there maybe something's wrong, but they don't say something. They don't stop and say, hey, I don't like that. I think that's wrong. Can you please show me where that is right? And if you can't show that, let's get the engineer involved, make sure he agrees or disagrees with the direction it's going, and then proceed with good instructions. Most of the time, if your engineer is competent or architect, they're gonna do a good job of supporting you and telling you what's right or wrong about specific installation, and not deferring or passing that buck on to, let's say, the metal building company's problem or this guy's problem or that guy's problem. No, it's my problem. Hope this helps, guys. God bless.